Hey everybody, thanks for checking out our videos.
If you're enjoying them, please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hey everybody, I'm Josh.
And I'm Rachel.
And we wanted to make a video today to discuss whether you should go to Vegas or not right now, because we're still seeing a lot of people making comments, should I go to Vegas? Should I cancel my trip? Is there enough to do? And so we wanted to just share some of our experiences that we've had this year during 2020 so that you can take that and decide if you want to go.
We have been to Vegas 3 times this year. Once in March, the week before the shutdown. Then we went again in June, about 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks after Vegas opened up. And then we were just back there in September.
And so we definitely I feel like it was a different experience each time.
Agreed.
Back in March, we were able to go to shows. So, everything was open because it was just the week right before.
Truly the week before.
We went to Bruno Mars, we went to O, and, we were able to do all the shows. In June, it was 3 weeks, 3 weeks from when all the casinos opened again. And it was definitely a vastly different experience. And then back in September, it's probably the closest to what you would see right now.
Correct.
So we actually have 10 questions that we want to answer for you to help you make your decision on whether you should go or not right now. The first question was, how safe is it from a health perspective?
Now, mind you, we both work in healthcare. So for us, the mask issue is not an issue. We wear masks to work, so wearing them to Vegas was not a problem. There was also hand sanitizer, hand washing stations everywhere we saw.
There's masks all over the place. I actually felt very safe traveling.
I agree.
Not only from the airport and the plane where it is mandated. We've flown, I think it was Southwest each time.
Yes.
And Southwest does have the middle seat open, so you don't have to sit too close to somebody if you're concerned about that. But everybody's wearing their mask. And then even when you get to Vegas, people are wearing their masks consistently because they want to be there.
Agreed. It's everyone from your servers and your wait staff to people in the casinos and in the restaurants. You do see the mask use is very prominent and indoors. People aren't always wearing their masks outside, but people are being good about staying socially distanced.
Yeah, it's not like people are bumping up next to you, or you don't have as many people that are handing you flyers and stuff as you used to have in the past. I've seen hardly any of the hooker flickers.
The cards.
You just don't see those right now at all. So if you're worried about some COVID guy handing you a hooker card, you're not going to see it.
I don't think you'll see it.
You will still see a bunch of the timeshare people that are going to try to get you to do stuff, but they aren't handing you stuff.
True.
The next question is, how safe was it from a violence and crime point of view? Because there was definitely an uptick in crime, and there was an uptick of videos on YouTube about all these big fights and stuff happening. I feel like a lot of it really broke out in August and September, where we had seen and heard about a lot of stuff, and we even heard about gunshots and stuff happening between September and October. What was your point of view on that?
I think from the biggest difference would be from that standpoint was June to September. In June, I did not see a whole lot of extra security. So March to June was, I would consider, the normal Vegas security. From June to September, I would say there was a huge increase in security presence, from hotel security to police on the strip even.
Yeah, and I would think that part of that comes from, it's a different type of crowd that's there right now, or you're missing a lot of the, maybe 40 to 60-year-old people.
I mean, and honestly,
there's a lot of young people there.
There is. And at this point, there's no international travelers.
Well, I mean, you only have domestic travel right now. It's all U.S. But yeah, it tends to be a lot younger crowd that is going right now. And the tough thing is, there's no clubs open. When we were there in September, the bars actually weren't open. They opened the weekend after we left. There's probably not enough to do for them. And so that might be part of why. But I will say, from our standpoint, I didn't see anybody getting arrested. I didn't see anybody getting in a fight. No.
And it did not hurt my feelings to have the extra security and law enforcement.
We did see people pass out drunk, but that's just normal.
Yes.
If you've been to Vegas, you see that often anyway.
Sleeping in the bushes area a couple
Yep.
times.
Yep. And what is the vibe like? What would you say?
It's a different vibe, but it's not bad.
There's less people, so I mean, it's not as terrible. I know everyone talks about the scooters. Scooters are annoying.
Oh,
I don't understand why people do that. Honestly,
No.
it's a lot of walking. I'll agree with that. But come on, driving down the strip with a scooter and like four of you doing it, it's just out of hand and ridiculous. But I think people are hopeful that things are going to change because it sounds like the prices are going up on flights, prices are going up on hotel rooms, and the parking fees are coming back.
oh
So
yeah.
we'll see. That might change that. All right, what is open and what is closed? So right now, Cromwell and Circa just opened. All of the major hotels are open right now. The only thing is you need to watch because a lot of them only have like weekends only. I know Planet Hollywood is doing that right now. And Circa, the casino opened, but the hotel hasn't opened yet. So you just got to be able to check it out. But most of the major hotels and casinos are open. At minimum, the casinos are open. Restaurant wise, that's still kind of hit and miss.
Hit and miss.
Yeah. Like we still saw probably 30+% of the restaurants that you would typically go to are going to be closed during the weekdays.
Agreed. And I think that Josh makes a good point. It's that Monday through Wednesday days, especially sometimes Thursday, when it's a real hit and miss on if those options are going to be open. One Starbucks on one corner might be open and the one in a casino may be closed.
Yeah.
So those type of things you have to really be a little bit not cautious on, but be aware that you could have some open and some closed.
Even back in June, we had it where we wanted to go to Black Tap, and
Yes.
that was a spot where we looked on the internet. The internet said that it was going to be open. Tried calling, but nobody answered. And we ended up going the next day, and we asked the bartender what happened. And he had said that somebody on the staff was exposed, and so that ended up exposing the whole staff. And so they actually just closed down the restaurant for that night.
Yeah.
So there is going to be potential that happens also.
You got to be flexible in making sure
very
your
flexible.
plans aren't. I mean, obviously Vegas is a spur of the moment type of planning anyhow, so just be mindful of that and be flexible.
Also, shows are just starting to open up here in the next couple of weeks. Like, if you want to go to a show, you're going to need to book it ahead of time because they're only doing about a quarter audience right now. And so if you want to go, you've got to order your tickets before you go. That's my advice. I would take a look ahead of time. And if you really want to go to a show, you should probably book it before you get there. Is there enough to do?
I mean, we went and we spent 4 days each time. And yeah, I felt we never ran out of things to do.
All the outdoor stuff is still going to be open. You can still go to Bellagio Fountains. You could still do Stratosphere is doing their rides. There's still so much people watching. You can go to Fremont Street Experience, check that out.
The conservatory at the Bellagio, the Mirage Volcano's back open. They have the flamingos. Display. The flamingos. We did the high roller, and it is something I would normally not have done because of the amount of people that cram into that little orb. And when we went in June, it was awesome because there were Josh and I and 3 other people. So it was so worth the money to go do that. And we did it at night.
Yep, we did it at night, and it was one lady and her 2 kids. Both of them were like under the age of 6 or 7. Yeah, it was only 5 of us, whereas like a lot of times I've read that they can fit like 30 plus people in there. That seems awful.
It seems
but like we were able to, walk back and forth, take pictures, do whatever the heck we want. All right, what was the most frustrating thing about traveling to Vegas during the shutdown or during the COVID restrictions?
I think we kind of touched on it already. Was just, to me, it was just the inconsistency of whether or not knowing something was open or not was a little frustrating. But once you get used to that, it's fine.
That leads back to the flexibility piece of it. Things are changing every day.
If you're enjoying our videos, don't forget to like and subscribe.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Hey, stop it. Hey,
Yeah.
Whether things are open or not, you can have a rough grid as far as what you're going to do,
Yeah.
but I would not have everything minute to minute planned out. Another frustrating part, actually, you are asked to wear your mask when you're laying out on your chair. If you're in the pool or if you're drinking, you do not need to. And so we actually did get pretty good about just holding our drinks at all times, even if we were almost going to fall asleep.
Yeah.
But they do have security guards that will walk around, and if you have your mask off and you're not drinking at that time, they'll tell you to take a drink or something.
And they are polite about it, though.
Yeah.
They are not rude about it. It's just the times we're in right now. Yeah. The scooters, it's just frustrating because I don't mind walking, and I know it is a lot of walking, but
well, and a lot of them just don't. If you're gonna do it, it's fine, but just be considerate of others. Don't be like running up on the back of people. Don't be thinking that you own the area.
Yeah.
Don't be riding your scooter up an escalator. All right. So, what are the best parts about traveling to Las Vegas right now?
Oh, for me, it's just getting away from reality of work and everyday life. It truly felt like somewhat back to normal, going on vacation, enjoying it, having somewhere new to eat, just being away from home and on a vacation is what I would say the best part is. So
well, if you've watched any of our other videos, we like to eat out a lot. And so we have done very little while we've been back home. But honestly, it felt safe to eat out there. I felt like all the precautions were followed really well. And yeah, I think that was one of the biggest positives about traveling right now is it's like the only way to make you feel halfway normal now. Flights were a good deals. And then also like the fact that nobody was going to be in the middle seat. So, we could have plenty of space on the plane. M Life will match Caesar's rewards level. And then Caesars will match M Life if you haven't signed up for a card before. So luckily, Rachel had not signed up for one.
Yep. So
we were able to get the tier match there. The other thing about M Life is we were able to get really good deals on hotels. We've stayed in a suite every night this year. Yep. And I haven't always been able to get to that level. I am platinum level with M Life, and we've stayed a suite in Bellagio twice and Mirage. We were supposed to stay at Aria back in June, but Aria didn't open up till the week after we were there. Yeah. But they were just great offers. They offer a lot of free play, offer a lot of resort credit also. Another good thing is the casinos are not crowded. Yeah. We see towards the weekend, you're definitely going to see an uptick in people, and at night because there's nowhere else to go. People don't have the nightclub that they might have gone to. They don't have shows that they might have gone to. So people are either going to restaurants or the casinos. But outside of those hours, I mean, if you have a specific machine that you want to play, a lot of times you're going to be able to get to it. Whereas during peak Vegas tourism, you may not get to play on the machine that you want to, especially if there's only 3 or fewer in the casino that you're at.
On that same note, when we were at Fremont Street and gambling, the drinks came faster than we could drink them.
I feel like the staff has been really welcoming. I've never had a bad incident with the staff yet this year.
No, and I think they truly want to be back to work.
Yeah, I do too. What are some tips that you can give for anyone that's going to Vegas now?
Be flexible.
I would say be flexible, but also plan.
True.
It goes back to if you want to do one of these shows, there's only going to be so many tickets. I think Absinthe is having 150 seats instead of 600 seats. So if you really want to go to a certain show, you're going to have to plan for that. And then reservations for dinner. I would say you definitely should make reservations ahead of time. If you want any of those sit-down restaurants and you don't want to eat at 5 p.m. or 10 p.m.
Agreed. And I also think be open to new ideas. If you have never seen Hoover Dam, or what is the other one? Red Rock or Grand Canyon. We've talked about possibly going to that. Consider doing that as a day trip type thing. I think those would be new adventures that someone could easily do.
I know a lot of people don't want to go and spend $200 on a dinner or even $100 on a dinner, but the amount of money that you were going to spend on that show is not cheap. No. Show tickets are pricey, especially if you're going to one of the bigger name concerts, or if you want a really close up seat at Cirque du Soleil, they're not cheap. And so don't think of it as, I could have, gone to Outback and got the same steak for $20. I'm telling you can't. I would say go ahead and try one of those fancier dinners and just see how it goes. I don't regret it pretty much ever when we've gone to those fancy dinners, and I would highly recommend trying it out, because right now the dinners could be the shows for you.
And I think on that same note, of another tip is don't eat somewhere you can eat at home. There are so many options in Vegas of places to eat. So many options. Please don't eat at the places you can eat at home.
I would agree. Would you recommend that a first timer go to Vegas right now?
I think that's so hard, because I can remember the first time I went to Vegas, and that's been years ago, and I had such a good time. At that time, though, we did not do any shows, so it was different than, say, when we went in March, when we did do shows. I just think it depends on what your comfort level is and what you're expecting from it, knowing that this isn't what normal Vegas is right now.
Would you think that somebody should go to Vegas as a first timer if they don't gamble?
Oh, I think that'd be hard.
Yeah. I think it'd be hard to do if you're not a gambler. There's just not
a gambler, not been there before.
Quite. Yeah.
I mean, those pieces, if you haven't experienced Vegas prior with all the other stuff, but there's so much to do too. We've been watching.
There is still a lot to be able to do, but if the shows are, right now they're probably like about 5% of the shows are going to be back. And even those are going to be at, quarter capacity. So if you're a first timer and you're not a gambler, I would probably avoid going. But if you're a gambler, honestly, like,
why not?
Yeah, why not? There's still a million times more places to go eat than, what a lot of people are used to, unless you're coming from another major city. And the bars are open again, so you can still go out, have a good time. There's still lots to do. The hotels, my goodness. Some of the most amazing hotels you'll see in the world.
True.
And honestly, just being able to walk in and out throughout the Strip, in such a close vicinity to each other, it's still a wonderful, amazing place to go to. But if you're not a gambler, I definitely think it would be tough. All right, and the final question, would you go to Las Vegas during COVID restrictions again?
Absolutely. We actually have a trip booked in December.
We do. We're actually going to be staying at Mandalay Bay, middle of December. And I don't regret it one bit. I feel like there's still plenty to do. There's still so many restaurants, so many things to do. And being able to get away is going to be super important still. The good thing about it is in September, we were at the Mirage. So we were kind of at the middle to north side. In June, we were at the Bellagio. So we were right in the middle. This next time being at Mandalay Bay, we're going to be on the south end of the Strip. And so, even though you think that, I could just go to this casino, go to this casino, you're typically going to stick in the area that you're kind of by, because it is much easier to just walk rather than Uber, Lyft, or take a taxi every time. And so I'm actually really excited to look around and do more stuff at New York, even at Excalibur, Luxor, MGM, and check out more restaurants that maybe we didn't give second thought to staying at, or give a second thought to eating at this last trip. There's just so many things to do. Yeah. Agreed. All right. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment below, and give us a subscribe. Let us know what your favorite parts are. Let us know what you're concerned about if you're trying to decide if you want to go to Vegas or not. True.
Problem is my legs don't, like, then I'm leaned back. Weird.
I mean, get one leg over there, and you could do that.
Okay. If you're enjoying our videos, don't forget to like and subscribe.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Hey, stop it. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Josh.
Welcome to the show. There's another positive. Good deals.
Very good deals.
Hey,
This is Gemma.
Hi, Gemma. Gemma's not supposed to be on the couch.
Yep.
But she
tends to go to the person who will let her on the couch.